Looky, 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 it's this week's episode of The Reef.
It's like I'm stuck inside of lately. It's been on my brain. Would you mind letting me know if hours I'm turning the days? Because our time is ticking short pace. Keep up the pace. My foot been slumping to the floor just to find my escape. It's like I'm stuck inside of.
Good morning, Sharks. It's Monday, November 18th, and here's this week's current.
On Monday, there's an SGA freshman meeting in room 223 after school, as well as girls and boys soccer at Lemon Bay at 6.
On Tuesday, there's a boys and girls soccer match at Lehigh at 5 and 7.
Also on Tuesday, there's a boys basketball game versus Island Coast at 7:30, as well as a girls basketball game versus Island Coast at 6.
On Wednesday, there is a boys basketball game at ODA at 5:30, as well as girls weightlifting at Fort Myers at 4:30.
On Thursday, there's a girls basketball game versus Bonita Springs at 6:30, as well as a boys and girls soccer game versus CSN at 5 and 6:45.
On Friday, there's a boys basketball match versus Golden Gate at 7:30.
On Saturday, there is a cheer competition at Charlotte.
Make sure to check the school calendar for the most updated events.
Welcome back to Sharks Mind. In this episode, we're going to different students and see what they're thankful for.
Since Thanksgiving coming up, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for Ross.
Ross. Why are you thankful for Ross?
I'm thankful for Ross because he's a very cute guy and he's always supporting me. I love him.
All right, what about you?
He's gorgeous.
Since Thanksgiving coming up, what are you guys thankful for?
My family.
My family.
Food.
Food. And why are you guys thankful for all of those?
Because I love them.
I wouldn't have a house.
I love food.
Okay.
So, since Thanksgiving is coming up, what are you guys thankful for?
I'm thankful for my boyfriend.
I'm thankful for my family and the basketball team.
And why are you guys thankful for those things?
Because he's a really big part of my life.
Because my family is really good and I love basketball.
Since Thanksgiving coming up, what are you thankful for?
Just water, because when a tree falls down, the apple comes back up. So the nucleus, it might just be like water on feet, because you can't really be thankful for stuff if you're not thankful at all. You know what I mean? So I would say the Hus family, stuff like that, because you can't really because you gotta bear with me now. You know what I mean? You can't let that sink in without letting it sink in. You know what I mean? So just let that sink in.
Hey Nick, what's the quote of the week?
Well, my mother used to always say, the older you get, the better you get, unless you're a banana.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to The Chomp. My name is Claire Johnson, and I'm your host, and today we have our guest speaker, Miss Ailey.
Hi, Miss Ailey.
Hi. How are you?
I am great. How are you today, Marina?
I'm doing good. Thank you for being on this week's episode of The Chomp. So my first question for you is, I know that you used to be an elementary school teacher, so how is it different teaching high school?
I mean, it's different in some ways, but not. A lot of things that I did at elementary school, I used to kind of do more hands-on activities with the high schoolers to keep them busy. But I feel like with my experience being an elementary teacher, I do try to tie in a lot of fun activities with everybody.
And then also on the topic of teaching, how is it different being a sign language teacher?
Well, it's very different because you're not sitting taking notes. It's a lot of hands-on learning, project-based learning. I don't have desks in my classroom, so the chairs are kind of set up like an auditorium, like you would in a college, like classroom in an auditorium, and there's a lot of movement that goes on in the room. And a lot of the learning is like partner-based, project-based, hands-on learning versus from a textbook.
Okay. And then how do you think that homecoming went? I had a great time and I thought it looked so good. How do you feel it went?
I thought homecoming was great. I liked the 2 locations. I know that was something different that we did this year. But I feel like it kind of helped spread everybody out. We had a lot of people in the cafeteria, you know, doing karaoke, eating, and if that was like their quieter vibe they, you know, liked, then they would go there. And then there was still a ton of people in the gym dancing and having a good time. I thought it went great.
Okay, I think it was really fun. And then my last thing that I wanted to ask about was, I know that you're the head coach of the girls basketball team. How do you think the season's gonna go?
I'm excited. I would say we're trying to rebuild the program right now. We do have a handful of return players from last season, but myself and Coach B, she's the athletic director over at the middle school, she's my assistant coach, her and I are working very hard to help rebuild the girls basketball program and hopefully help them have a successful season this year.
Okay. Thank you for coming on this week's episode of The Chomp.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of The Reef.
Yeah.